Hello everybody and welcome to a special edition of our Community Access. This week we asked for our friend George White from Wojo's Garden Center to tell you to help with your plants and shrubs this fall. All today at our Community Access.
This is George here at Wojo's for this special edition of our Community Access. We're going to be talking about fall and winter preparation for your plants, and we have a myriad of ideas to share with you. The first one I want to talk about is something that's impacted us this summer, and that's watering. Watering, we're recommending that you water your plants, both the newly established plants and also existing plants, up until Thanksgiving time. We found a columnist for the Detroit News, Nancy Zerlag, wrote a column earlier this year. And she says, what do plants need? This year it's water. We went through some very, very dry spells and we saw plants in a lot of stress. So watering is the key. Just past week, Nancy wrote that drought damage may show up in trees much later. You may not see it this season, but it may happen in a couple of years. So the notion is even established trees need additional water. I was up at Michigan State University about 3 weeks ago for a function, and I noticed along their boulevard, the main roads going through campus, they had the gator bags or the watering bags on the trees. Their trees up on campus, they were in a drought zone and didn't get much rain at all this summer, and those trees were showing it. So they were using the gator bags to provide some additional water. So we wanted to talk about watering as being critical for the plants, and that they have that to be ready to go into the winter. Another article that Nancy has talked about in the past, and it's still a critical time for oak trees. If you contact an arborist to cut down an oak tree or trim an oak tree in midsummer or even up until November, and they're willing to do it, they aren't worth their salt. Don't let them on your property. Oak wilt can impact trees from April through October. So it's important that you're careful when you do pruning of oak trees. If there's damage to an oak tree in a storm in the summertime, you want to, as quickly as possible, clear cut the branch or limb that was broken and put a sealer on it to keep the harmful insect from getting inside it. There's a little beetle that can smell an injured oak and within a matter of hours can infect the tree. So oak wilt is very, very important. Another topic that I want to talk about is scale. Scale on magnolias and on other plants, but scale many times you see as a little bump along the stem. We have products here that will help deter that. The Bear product, the tree and shrub protection and fertilizer will help with that, and also we have a dormant spray oil that we recommend using. The Bear product is good for 12 months protection to ward off the insect if it starts to infect the tree. The dormant spray oil is important to suffocate it during its time on the branch. Another thing that has been talked about is buy it where you burn it. Don't move firewood. We are still dealing with the effects of the emerald ash borer. And some people are very foolishly moving firewood that contains the ash borer into an area that they haven't had any infestation. This is how we got this in the first place. This came to Michigan on pallets from China. So it's important that we not move firewood, that you use it where you purchase it. Wherever you find it, you want to burn it at that point. You don't want to be transmitting it across the state, because you could have the emerald ash borer be alive in that wood, and before you burn it, go off and start infecting trees. So use the firewood, don't move it. I mentioned the watering. We're recommending that you water until Thanksgiving. An example that I'm using for customers that come in, and it's sad to say, we generally with these hydrangeas will get 2 or 3 of these returned a week. And it's mainly because of neglect. People don't water enough. And I ask people, do you have children? And they many times say yes. And I said, when they were infants, did you skip any watering or any feeding? And they say no. Well, these plants are living things too. So watering is critical to have them look nice. It's very disappointing to have us have return material come in here, and you can tell right off the bat that it was just neglected. And it doesn't take much. You go away on vacation or for a long weekend, hot, dry, and the plant can show effect. Another topic that we mention at this time of year is fertilizing. We normally stop fertilizing here at the nursery around August 1st, and we recommend that for our guests also. We don't want any delicate new growth to be pushed out caused by fertilizer and then be frozen with a frost. We want the plant to begin to harden up, and we don't want any new delicate growth coming on. So we ask that you not fertilize after August 1st. The next topic is broadleaf evergreens. Broadleaf evergreens, as we prepare for these for the winter time, we want to water again until Thanksgiving. There is a product called Wilt Proof or Wilt Stop that you can use on your broadleaf evergreens. And by that, I'm talking boxwoods, rhododendron, azalea, euonymus, and holly. We want those leaves to stay vital throughout the winter time. We want to keep them watered. We want to use the Wilt Stop or Wilt Proof, which helps to seal in the moisture in the leaf. And lastly, many people use burlap to help as a wind protection. Location, location, location is important for the broadleaf evergreens, generally the east side of the house. And with these 3 things doing, the watering, the Wilt Proof or Wilt Stop, and the burlap, you can have success in growing your broadleaf evergreens, and again fertilizing in the spring and summer with holly tone. We're going to wrap up this segment and move on to another topic at another time.
Welcome to American Legion in Oxford for the best fish on Fridays. That's right, from noon to 8:30. You can get the best walleye in Michigan. You can get walleye, baked cod, chicken strips, baked potatoes, and more. On the hall side of the Legion, oh, hello there, friends. You can have 12 friends on a table, any one of the best military museums in Michigan. And the dining side, oh, hello again. More comfortable with many 4-seat tables and a couple of 5-seaters. Now on Friday we usually have about 400 to 500 best friends for our fish. Carry-out? You bet. We have 50 to 60 carry-outs at the post. We have some young fins with the birthdays and some of our best seniors at the post. Oh yeah, waitresses, they go like a track waitress to get your food. If you have never enjoyed our secret famous walleye at the Legion, come on in every Friday from noon to 8:30 at the American Legion Post 108 on 130 East Rainer Road, Oxford.
This is George here at Wojo's. Welcome back to our special edition of our Community Access. We are going to talk first of all about, as we prepare for the fall and also thinking about the spring, the topic of fertilizing. Folks want to have their hydrangeas blue, or they want to keep their acid-loving plants healthy, and we have several products that will do that. We have Holly Tone that will help to lower the pH, and we also have a product called Soil Acidifier from Bonai that can also, or from Espoma, that can be used. So if you want to keep those hydrangeas blue, the springtime would be the time to start applying that. Another product that we've had tremendous success with this season, and we want to strongly encourage our guests to use this in the future, and that is the superphosphate or triple phosphate fertilizer. This will help to boost bloom production. I personally used this at home this year on my hydrangeas and had tremendous success. Some of my colleagues at the other stores use this in the fall to top dress all of their perennial beds. And in the next summer, the plants thrive and produce flowers abundantly. So we recommend the triple phosphate or superphosphate fertilizer for that bloom production. Another thing we want to talk about now are deer. Deer are causing us issues in landscapes when the bucks are trying to rub the velvet off their antlers. That starts around August 1st and will continue until they get done with that. We have several products here that will help protect the trunks of your trees. We have a plastic tree guard, and we also have another form of a plastic tree guard for some of your smaller trees that you can put around the bark on the tree, put it on the trunk so that the deer can't have that devastating effect. Folks want to know, how do we keep deer away from their plants? We have several products that we recommend to our guests. They all work very nicely. One of them is called Plant Skid. This is a product that is a oil-blood mixture. It has a little bit of a pink color to it, so you want to be careful when you apply it so that you don't put it on an area where the pink would stain. But it works very, very effective and has a little bit longer durability. It stays on the plant longer because of the oil base. Another product that folks may be familiar with is Repelzol. This is a universal critter deterrent, and it works very nicely by mainly sense of smell and taste. And lastly, Liquid Fence. Another product that is also very effective. You have to keep up with this though. You don't just spray it once going into a season. You have to apply it when you have new growth and new tissue. The thing that I want to recommend is that you don't use one product all the time. You want to alternate those. The deer can get used to a product and it isn't as effective. So you want to switch these up. I personally use either the Repelzol and Liquid Fence in the summertime. I use the Plant Skid in the winter. This again lasts a little bit longer and works quite nicely for me. I'm getting wet. Question comes about pruning. With pruning, we find that the time to prune is at the time when after flowering. For the spring flowering plants, like your rhododendron, like your forsythia, those plants can be pruned right after flowering. The summer flowers, the hydrangeas that we have here in this beautiful display, the Rose of Sharon, and the other summer flowering plants can be pruned either late in the fall or very early spring. We're going to talk about hydrangeas. Hydrangeas, we have 5 different types, and when people come in and want to know about the care of these, can I cut them back? What do I have to do with them? We have to identify each of the types. The first type is the type called arborescens. People are familiar with the Annabelle or the Incrediball. These have the large white flower that is on the plant throughout the summer. This, with fertilization, can cause the plant to thrive and do very nicely with large flowers. This can be pruned quite heavily. You could take this down to the ground and it would come back up very nicely the next year. The next one that we have here is the oak leaf hydrangea. And you notice the plant with the oak leaf. This takes minimal pruning. We don't want to do much pruning on this because you can take flower buds away that are forming now this summer for next year. The same with the big leaf varieties. This happens to be bloom struck. Folks will come in here and say, my bloomstruck isn't flowering. And I said, did you prune it? Yeah, I cut it all the way down to the ground. Well, wrong. You don't want to do that. You want to leave the stem up. You can cut off the flowers, but you want to wait till the next spring to see where the new growth is coming from. When you see the new leaves, the new growth coming off the stem, then you can cut down to that point. But if you take it down to the ground, you're going to remove valuable flower buds. The kind that is the easiest to grow are the paniculatas. This happens to be Firelight. We have about 8 or 9 different varieties. Most popular would be the Limelight, Little Lime, Quick Fire, Little Quick Fire. We have a whole host of these, different sizes. These are on a woody stem that has minimal dieback. And what I recommend doing is cutting off the flowers so that the weight of the snow or ice in the wintertime doesn't bend the branches down and break the stem. This is a tree form of that paniculata. With this flower remaining on the tree in the wintertime, a heavy snow would cause the branch to stretch and fall down. So with that, we recommend cutting off the flowers and saving the branch. If you cut these before a frost and they're in this beautiful color, if you hang them to dry, they make an exceptional dried flower for arrangements in the house. So that's another benefit of these paniculatas. The big leaf flowers don't preserve quite as well, but you can also use those also. The last type of hydrangea is the hydrangea vine. This likes a shady spot. It has little tentacles here on the back side that allows it to attach itself to a building. It takes 2 or 3 years to get these things established, but once they start, they can grow and cover a wall. So that's the additional kind of hydrangea we have here at Wojo's. We're going to take a break and come back soon.
Hi, I'm Lori Stevenson from K9 Stray Rescue League on this beautiful day, and I'm here to display 2 of our dogs that are up for adoption. This right here is Patsy, and she's a 1-year-old shepherd mix. She came in very scared and unsure, and she's looking for a family that can help her build confidence and feel comfortable in her own skin. She's very, very unsure of everything right now, so she's looking for someone who's very patient, but won't coddle her like I'm coddling her now. Coddling's not going to help. And do some training with her to teach her what good life is like. Nice dog, very, very nice dog. She just needs a chance. Like I said, 1-year-old shepherd mix, and when she's done filling out, right now she's a little thin. I'm guessing she'll be probably about 45 pounds, so nice size, great medium-sized dog. She's wonderful with other dogs. She's not real fond of puppies jumping on her, but she's wonderful with other dogs that are older and not jumping on top of her. As far as a home for Patsy, I would say a home without little kids because she is scared and nervous. So I'm afraid little kids would torment her the way she is right now. And then this other little guy that we have right here, this is Jessie, and she's got litter mates here. She's actually got 4 other litter mates that are with her at our facility at the current time. And Mom is a Brittany mix, and Dad, I'm guessing, had a little bit of Beagle in him. They're about 14 weeks old. They're all spay, they're up to date on vetting, and they're ready to find homes. I'm guessing she'll probably be about 35 pounds when she's full grown. This litter was also not socialized real well, so they are also looking for homes with somebody who will help them gain confidence and teach them basic obedience. They've been with their litter mates, so they don't know anything. You got to teach them everything. But they'll make nice family members. And I'm not worried about little kids with the puppies. I think they'd be fine with little kids in the home. And actually another dog in the home with either one of these dogs would be a plus because it will help them gain confidence watching another dog that's well adjusted in the home. But yeah, if you're interested in coming and seeing any of these guys, or we've got 50 dogs out here on any given day, so come on out and visit. You're more than welcome to bring your pet for a meet and greet. And then also, all of our dogs are vetted. They're spay or neutered, heartworm tested. They've got rabies vaccines if they're old enough. They are current on distemper vaccines, bordetella, flea prevention, and heartworm prevention. Senior dogs are 125, which is 7 years old and older. Adult dogs are 200. And our puppies 6 months and under are $240 to adopt. You're basically paying for their bedding. And all these dogs are here due to no fault of their own. They just need some nice family to give them a chance and show them a little love and appreciation. They'd love to join your family. They'd absolutely love it, wouldn't you? Huh? You're very cute. You're very cute. Many other dogs here. We've got little dogs. We've got large dogs, medium-sized dogs. Yeah, and if you don't want to adopt a dog, come on out and volunteer. We always need volunteers. Give us a call. We'll get you in for orientation. And it's one of the most wonderful things I've ever done is volunteering with these dogs and making a difference in somebody's life. You know, these guys had a really, really rough start, and it's just a very rewarding experience to spend time with these dogs that really, they need you. They need you, and they appreciate the time that you give them. So come on out and visit us at Canine Stray Rescue League, and we'll either find you a buddy or you can spend time with a new buddy here. One more thing I forgot to tell you. We have a fundraising event at Devil's Ridge Golf Course coming up on September 11th, and it's a 4-man scrambles. There's all kinds of gifts, hole-in-one, all kinds of different things that you can win. And then we'll also have silent auction items and a dinner afterwards. And come on out. You can sign up ahead of time, get a hold of us or Dr. Osborne, and we'll get you signed up, and you can come out and have a good time with all of us. We'll have dogs there. And there's free hot dogs and beverages, not alcohol, but beverages for the people who are taking into the event. And then also dinner afterwards. If you're not a golfer, but you'd still like to attend and participate in our fundraising event, you could come for dinner for $25. And like I said, there's a lot of silent auction items, wonderful, wonderful silent auction items that will be up for bidding. Come on out and spend the day with us.
This is George here at Wojo's, and we welcome you back to our final segment in our special community access program. We're talking about fall and how you care for plants and get them ready for winter time. One topic I want to talk about next are what do we do with the upright junipers and what do we do with our arborvitaes? What kind of protection can you give these for the winter? And you say, well, this is an evergreen. What can happen to it? What happens to these is a heavy snow or ice storm can cause these branches to separate and bend forward. And this can totally distort your plant. Junipers have that. Also, we find that the arborvitae also have multiple stems that come together in a nice dense plant, but the snow and ice can cause these to separate out and damage it. So what we recommend doing, some folks wrap burlap loosely around it, but what I like to do is simply use twine and loosely wrap twine around the plant. And this helps to snug up the branches and keep the snow and ice from damage it. You don't want to snug it up real tight, you want it somewhat loose, but this way you can keep the plant from having that damage with a heavy ice or snowstorm. So we recommend that for both the upright junipers and also for the upright arborvitaes. You'll be happy you did this. because there's nothing sadder for us in the springtime to have a guest come in and say, remember that heavy snow we had in February? My arborvitae split, my juniper split, is it going to come back up? Chances are it's not going to. It's going to look different. You can try and bring it back up, but most often there is some prolonged damage to it. So an ounce of prevention goes a long way. Another thing we talk about is how do we care for roses? We have different kinds of roses, and each one is dealt with a little bit differently. For the folks that like the climbing rose, this gets a little bit tricky in how you protect it, because with the hybrid teas, the grandifloras, the floribundas, the miniatures, we talk about using a rose cone and or dirt or mulch to the depth of about 12 inches over the crown of the plant. With those plants, you have a graft that has a root below it. You want to protect that graft from freezing. If that graft freezes, what you end up with is the root stock sending up stray shoots that don't look anything like that nice rose you had. So you cut the roses back to about 12 inches, and then you cover them with the dirt or mulch and or a rose cone to protect that graft. With the climbing roses, though, with the long canes, if you read a book or do a Google search how you protect these, they recommend digging the plant up and digging a trench and burying the canes and the plant for the wintertime. Most people don't have the time to do that, and what many people will do is wrap the canes in burlap and protect the base of the plant, again with dirt or mulch or a rose cone. It's important that you keep the plant from freezing. Many people are enjoying the success with the shrub roses. We have several varieties here. We have the Easy Elegance roses that were developed in northern Minnesota at 40 below by Bailey Nursery. We also have the Knockout roses. The Knockout roses are on their own root, as are the Easy Elegance. What makes it nice with those is that because there is not a graft, that the root of the plant provides the nice stems and flowers, it needs less winter protection. And we find that 4 to 6 inches of mulch over the crown of that plant, you have adequate protection for the winter time. This past winter being relatively mild, folks got away with even less than that. So the protection of the roses is important if you want them to come back the next year. As we think about fall here at Wojo's, I would encourage people to go on our website and look at the class offerings we have. We'll be having classes, a succulent class in decorating pumpkins. We'll be having a fall pruning class for people in October. And then also check our website for our holiday classes. The porch pots, the centerpiece classes, the wreath decorating. And at that same time we're having adult classes, we're also having kids club classes. So it's important that you check ahead, plan ahead, and enjoy the holiday season, the Christmas season here at Wojo's with the beautiful poinsettias and the greens we make. So in the next few weeks, the corn stalks, the pumpkins, the mums, the pretty fall color, and then as we get into the Christmas season, we'll have our beautiful Wojo growing poinsettias, as well as the greens that are produced right here by our staff. So we thank you for joining us today and enjoying this special community access program. See you next time.
Well, there you go. So our friend George White from Wojo's and Garden Center, and for editor Terry Stiles, I'm Bill Service, and you have a great, great week.
Hey Leonard, you're watching OCTV.